Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. So for today, we're going to tackle about a world of ideas, global media cultures. But before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Marquez Mark Anthony, and the other two is Maglonov Angeli and Isidora Nicole. So what is global media cultures? Global media cultures explores the relationship between the media, cultures, and globalization. The course approach past and current challenges concerning international communications and explores and problematizes the power of media presentation. So what is the role of media in terms of human voice? Language help humans to communicate. Language enable us to express our wishes, feelings, likes and dislikes, and ideas. And next, travels only a short distance, no permanence, and cannot be repeated. Role of media in terms of media. It enables us, to human voice and ideas to travel through space and time, allowed humans to share information across the globe, enabled humans to pass knowledge across generations. Various forms of media technology were developed due to economic, military, political, and social need. Various forms of media comes in many different formats, including print media, books, magazine, newspaper, and television, movies, video games, etc. Each type of media involves both content and also a device or object through which content is delivered. In turn, media technology has influenced and shaped human life through generation. Media technology has influenced and speed up the communication between people. Now people can use email, social media, chat messenger, and any social media platform for the communication. Evolution of the different forms of media. Script. Record and preserve information. The next one is printing press. Cheap, fast copying and circulation of information. One-way communication. Limited reach. Limited to one language. Thus, force common knowledge and shared identity. And the last one is modern technology. Telegraph, telephone, radio, film, television, cable TV, and digital media which we use as of now. And the next one is massive breadth and depth of reach, global penetration, fast and real-time dissemination of information, interactive, powerful medium in shaping social, cultural, political, and economic change. Radio. Radio was developed alongside the telegraph and telephone in the late 1890s. Radio brought music and news in the homes. For most of the 20th century, radio was the only means of media that reached remote village. Radio, it is the only broadcast medium that gives you local news, weather, sports, talk, and music while you are doing something else. In USA, radio was mainly supported by advertisers, and it is called radio advertising. It is buying commercials to promote product or services. Advertisers pay commercial radio station for airtime and in exchange, the radio station broadcasts the advertiser's commercial to its local audience. In Europe, radio was mainly supported by the government. I think it is because during the war, the military used it almost exclusively and it became an invaluable tool in sending and receiving message to the armed forces in real time without the need for a physical messenger. Radio was developed alongside the telegraph and telephone in the late 1890s. The radio brought music and news in the homes. For the most of the 20th century, radio was the only means of media that reached remote villages. The radio is the earliest form of media that had massive breadth and depth of each other. In the USA, the radio was mainly supported by advertiser, which is a discussed earlier. In Europe, the radio was mainly supported by the government, which is just like what I've said for the war. Radio. It played a key role in many social political campaigns and upheavals during the 20th century. It has also become a global media in radio broadcast in WW2, which is in World War II, propaganda during the Cold War, death radio genocide of the Tutsi in Rwanda, Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream. Television. Some argued that the introduction of television was the defining moment in globalization. The world became a global village because of TV. Television. With cable TV, it became an even more powerful medium catering to a wide range of global interests, politics, sports, entertainment, arts, history, travel, nature, adventure, religion, food, and education. With cable TV, it became even more powerful medium catering to a wide range of global interests. Here are some important takeaways from this lesson. Media allowed humans to share information across the globe. The radio, television, and digital media are the most significant forms of media technology that influence global integration in different aspects such as economy, politics, and culture.
Global integration of various forms of media. Television, considered the most powerful mass media invented. It brought the world into many homes all over the globe. It captures narrative of social, political, and economic issues through the news. It was a medium cultural exchange through music, film, and documentaries. Ngayong panahon na to, television ang nagsisilbing magandang tanawin sa ngayon. Dahil nga nagka-pandemic, bukod sa hindi naman lahat ng tao nakakapag-provide ng pagbili ng cellphone, sa TV na lamang sila nakakakuha ng ibang impormasyon na kung saan nakikita din nila kung ano ang nangyayari sa iba't ibang lugar natin ngayon. Currently, it's the most significant media of influence to globalization. The computer, cellular phone, and the internet are the usually representation of digital media. It provides interactive communication unlike the print TV, which provide one-way communication. So, digital media, hindi siya katulad na isang TV na kung ano yung naipalabas dun, wala na iba dun. Pero dito kasi sa digital media, marami kang sources na pwedeng makuha, marami kang pwedeng gawin, marami kang pwedeng masagap. Halimbawa sa pakikipagkalakalan natin sa ibang lugar, na kung saan mas napapadali natin ang paghingi natin ng impormasyon, opinion ng iba. At ang ating mga karaniwang ginagamit dito ay ang ating mga cellphone, laptops, at mga computer. Nakikita natin dito sa chart na meron tayong computer, cellular phone, and internet, which are the instrumental in shaping the economy, immigration, culture, arts, fashion, music, education, politics, and other aspects of human life all over the world. So the first one is becoming a major form of business. For example, the Amazon, Alibaba, and Lazada are some example startup companies which began operation from home garage but have grown into a successful global e-commerce platforms. So, para sa atin sa henerasyon natin ngayon, sa mga taong bahay dyan, mas napapadali na rin sa atin na bumili ng isang gamit nang hindi lumalabas ng bahay. Gamit lamang yung ating laptops, cellphones, at iba pang gadget na kung saan pwede natin i-download itong app. Tapos, dun na lang tayo maghanap ng mga gamit na gusto nating bilhin. Tulad nga ng mga app na to, itong Lazada na to, ito ang pinakamadalas na naririnig ko sa mga kabataan ngayon na itong gamit ko na ito ay binili ko sa Lazada, which is mura naman, mga ganun. Itong mga apps na to, hanggang sa paunti-unti sila nakikilala, paunti-unti rin sila nagiging successful sa ating ekonomiya. Sa economy, pati rin ito yung micro, small, medium entrepreneurs like farmers, fishermen, and startup are now available to engage in trade and gain access to microfinancing using their mobile phones. So yung MSMEs are now integrated into the web of global economy. Nang dahil nga dito sa digital media, kadalasan sa mga maliliit na entrepreneurship tulad ng mga nag-online selling na ng damit, mga local products natin, ay natututo na rin silang gumamit nito na kung saan nakikipagkalakalan sila sa ibang lugar, sa ibang parte ng bansa o sa ibang bansa pa na kung saan nagbibenta sila ng mga produkto natin. At ay ang politics. Social media is able to spark collective public opinion and action. During election campaigns, candidates have used social media to appeal for public votes. So ayun, sa henerasyon natin ngayon, tayo ay gumagamit ng digital media na kung saan pag ang mga politician ay tumatakbo sa ating lugar, kadalasan sa mga plataforma nila ay inilalagay na rin nila sa social media, for example sa Facebook, sa YouTube, mga videos na kung saan ay merong mga advertisement. Using digital media sa politics, dito rin natin malalaman yung mga iba't ibang opinion ng ating mga kababayan patungkol sa mga tumatakbong kandidato. At malalaman din natin kung sino ba talaga yung dapat natin ibonto, yung mga karapat-dapat talaga iboto ng mga kandidato. Education, there is a rapid exchange of knowledge through open universities, massive open online courses, and webinars. Search engines such as Google has made it easy to search for information in the internet. The internet is helping democratize the access to affordable learning. So, ang edukasyon natin ngayon, ang pamamalakad ng ating edukasyon ngayon ay nasa high-tech na pamamaraan na. Kung dati ay kailangan talaga nating bumili ng libro o pumunta sa library upang mag-search ng ating mga activities or reviewer, ngayon ay madalas na natin gamit ang ating mga gadgets upang mag-research dahil para sa atin ito ang madaling paraan upang makakuha ng impormasyon. Culture, fashion, arts, and music. There is now wealth of exchange and fusion of culture, fashion, arts, and music that we never experienced before. Digital media has allowed artists, musicians, and designers to transcend borders and gain global audience. Itong apat na ito ay mabilis na maipakilala gamit lamang ang pag-post sa mga media. Isang post mo lamang, maaari mo na rin itong pagkakitaan. Migration or relocation to other countries is becoming less of concern because digital media enables migrants to connect with family and friends back home in real time due to many modes of digital media. Sa panahon ngayon, hindi na mahirap may pag-communicate sa mga taong malayo sa atin. Gamit lamang ang isang cellphone, laptop,
ay maaari na tayo may pag-usap sa kanila.
Dynamics between local and global cultural production. So, what is cultural production? Cultural production is defined by Chandler and Munda as the social process involved in the generation and circulation of cultural forms, practices, values, and shared understanding. Culture is being produced every day. We use, adapt, and create culture in unique ways in our daily lives, though we may not be conscious about it. Examples: the way we dress, the way we communicate, the way we interact with others, our verbal and body language, are forms of entertainment. There are two conflicting views on the impact of globalization to cultural production: negative and positive. Here are the negatives: threat to local economy, disadvantages to poor countries and small enterprises, dominance of developed countries and big corporations, destroy traditional cultures, belief, values, system, loss of cultural identity, and the last one is forces uniformity of cultures and experience. Here are the positive aspects of cultural production: expanded global market opportunity, exposure to other cultures enrich the local cultures. It drives economic growth in the poor parts of the world. It increases knowledge and understanding people around the world. Interdep- Interdependence of local and global cultures. Local and global cultures are always positioned as opposite, yet they are interdependent. One cannot exist without the other. One is always in relation to other. While local and global cultures are always positioned as opposite, the reality is that they are interdependent. One cannot exist without the other. One is always relation to the other. Formation of identities. For example, food is part of the culture of many countries. The French in particular take pride in their cuisine. Some of them are concerned with the increased presence of American fast food chains, which they are considered to be of lower quality and does not belong to the French cultures. Thank you. There are different points of views regarding the dynamics between local and global cultural production. There are positive and negative points of view, but some argue that they are not opposite but are inherently interdependent. Cultural change and evolution is inevitable, and digital media is further accelerating it. At the end of the day, cultural production will depend on the preferences and values of the consumers. Cultural production will be a reflection of the people choice. Thank you.
Formation of identities. The French realized their identity by recognizing the difference of the French cuisine and what distinguishes through a comparison with global food culture that has dominated the world. As people entered to the modern world, globalization gave birth to many things, but they are perceived as the same thing. Localness or local identity is reflected back by globalization. To for sure explain, imagine looking yourself in the mirror. You will say that I am pretty, but when you ask other people with the question, am I pretty? Their answer might be a different from what the answer you gave to yourself. Identities or the localness can be done by one person. It might take many people to form that identity. For example is the French cuisine. French dishes are known around the world for everything ingredient is prepared. According to what type of cooking will be done to that ingredient, if a French woman tastes or eats a quiche, she will just say, this dish never gets old. But what an American or Chinese tastes it, they might say quiche is definitely one of the best dishes of France. See the difference? French cuisine was not defined by the French. Globalization and fragmentation. FIRA 2016 argued that what we see as global culture in many metropolises is actually a mosaic of multiple local cultures present in one location. He called this globalization of fragmentation. It is clear that this representation of the different cultures cannot be the total nor authentic representation of those local cultures. As identities are formed, globalization takes a special form. Globalization enables us to connect with other people, whether people are on the other side of the earth or in space. Because of this connection, many cultures are present in one location. FIRA 2016 defined this happening as the globalization of fragmentation, whereas and the people around the world are like pieces is an art, mosaic, and also our culture and daily living are connected to each other group. But this connection with other pieces in the art mosaic are just facades. Why? Because even if you group Americans and Filipinos and show that they are okay in a relationship, Filipinos will always be Filipinos and Americans will always be Americans. Globalization and fragmentation. For example, in many big cities, there are enclaves of different cultures like the Chinatown, the India market, the Korean town, and the American shopping center, but they do not capture in totality the spirit of their respective cultures. As every culture is a fragment in a certain location, we can say that only one culture is present but many. Let's take an example. China. Chinatowns are not located in China, but around the world now, there are about 35 Chinatowns spread across Asia, Europe, and USA. Now, now the question, why Chinatown exists? But first, let me give you a trivia. The oldest Chinatown can't be found in China, but in the Philippines, yes. Binondo, located in Manila, is the oldest Chinatown in the whole world. It was built in the 1590s by the Spaniards for the Catholic Chinese. So, enough with the trivia. Let's go back to the question. Why Chinatown exists? Chinatown exists for it will serve as a settlement for Chinese people even if they are not in China. People's choice. Cultural change and evolution is inevitable and digital media is further accelerating it. But at the end of the day, cultural change are driven by the preference and values of the consumers. Thus, cultural production will inevitably be a reflection of the people's choice. Globalization brings many things to us, but because of it, change in our culture and evolution of lifestyle of the people is inevitable. In the past, people would greet their parents good morning face to face, but now they do it with video call, moving pictures, or emojis. Now, let's move to the field of technology. We use technology in the past for work, purpose, and communication, but now it, it embarked on the entertainment industry, gaming, food, and many more. Example of a people choice is when the best camera phone was given to Apple's iPhone 11 Pro. Why did this brand and model of cell phone won the people's choice? It's because people love the product and are satisfied using the product. That's why every product that a businessman or woman want it to be popular must catch the attention of the consumer to get the People's Choice Award.